What's up you guys, Gongrongzong here, back with another Sharpshooter video. So today I wanted to give a quick guide of how to achieve good numbers with your rifle, and in this training room video I've managed to achieve a consistent number of 800k DPS. And in this video I'm going to go through the entire clip of 280 or so bullets. So it's going to take a while and I'm probably going to fast forward it at certain points, but as you can see here, I'm not moving from this spot, I'm shooting non-stop, I'm reloading quickly, and everything so far is going according to plan. As I can tell, 800k so far, 800k DPS. Now, I just thought of releasing this video alongside a video that Mtashed released, because in his video, he was going through the LMG, and in that video, he was showcasing how the LMG could do up to 500k DPS.
Alright, so we're at 400k. We essentially got 60,000 sustained DPS, not burst DPS. If you look at burst DPS, I could do that. I could do that all day. Look at this. You want burst DPS? Fuck your head. Look at this. Boom, I can do 500, 600,000 damage. No, it's sustained DPS. You have to throw reloads in because you're going to reload in the game.
Now, I'm not here to try and compare like whose dick is bigger and so on, but I just wanted to showcase the power of the rifle and the correct rifle in the hands of a sharpshooter. I will be going through exactly what gear and talents I'm using later on in the video. But at this point, I just wanted to showcase to you guys the entire clip to show that I'm not trying to cheat in any way here, and I am literally standing in the same spot in the training room, shooting the same targets over and over again, and the DPS meter does not drop below 800k. So I hope you guys enjoy the rest of this clip, and then I will talk about the gear, the talents, and the stats right after this. As you're watching this, I also just wanted to add in one of the huge boons of the rifle, is that I literally have 100% uptime on the dummies due to its very quick reload speed, as compared to the LMG, where his DPS drops off due to needing to reload. And so there we have it. I just kind of ran out of rifle bullets at this point. They're constantly regenerating because of the insanely good sharpshooter perk where you regenerate ammo when you're behind cover. But as of now, you can see that my DPS has stabilized at 800k. So how exactly do you achieve this kind of number that you know is almost twice the amount of damage that an LMG can put out? And this is for both long range and short range. So what exactly is the weapon that I am using? Well, the rifle that I am using is called the military MK17, and it is, my opinion, the best rifle for the sharpshooter specialization, both in terms of damage, rate of fire, magazine capacity, and its all-out versatility in being able to deal with both long-range and short-range encounters. The talent that I would recommend to you would be the BREADBASKET talent. And in fact, in this entire video, the BREADBASKET talent was rarely ever used because of the sheer stability and accuracy of the MK17 that was able to be maintained on both long range and short range targets. I was able to consistently hit the head in the entire video of the training room. But regardless, the BREADBASKET talent is so good because in any encounter in the real world, in any practical application of this weapon, you will not always be able to hit the head. And in fact, probably the majority of your shots will be hitting the body. And so, this talent makes it so much less punishing when you hit the body. This talent can stack up pretty high too, up to 10 stacks, allowing your headshot to scale up to a maximum of 50% more damage. I have easily taken out multiple yellow mobs in my playthroughs by consistently hitting the body and then finishing them off with a large headshot. Next, due to the inherently very high stability of the military MK17, you are free to slap on a stat such as the increased rate of fire talent. It will only help to increase your DPS without you needing to worry about the added recoil. But how exactly was I able to get stability so high up? Or perhaps the question more is, why is stability so important for the rifle? Stability is key for the rifle because every single shot has a pretty high recoil pattern as compared to other automatic weapons. And so with a full bar of stability, as you can see here on my gun, I am able to literally just spam into a target's head with a pretty high consistent hit rate, as you guys just saw in the training room video. Alright, so now on to the rifle. The very first mod that you want to have, no questions asked, is this magazine mod. The light extended 7.62 mag, that adds plus 30 rounds to your magazine. There is no other magazine that can outdo this in terms of performance. In the training room kind of scenario, of course, if I pick perhaps something like the precision mag, I could be able to do a bit more damage to the training dummies. But out there in the real world, in a practical sense, this magazine will be able to help you handle any and all situations that are being thrown at you. Remember, as a sharpshooter, you don't have any other option to deal with close range options, and your rifle is what is going to help you deal with that. So in all situations, always use this magazine that adds 30 rounds to your rifle, essentially almost making it somewhat akin to an assault rifle of a sort. Alright, now on to the grip. Now, hold on, before I go on to the grip, the rest of the slots are somewhat debatable, and you can feel free to mix and match a little bit here and there. But I'm just going to present to you what I felt works best for me, and what helped me to achieve this 800k DPS scenario in the training room. So the first one would be the grip. I used the angled grip because I wanted to completely max out stability. Well, it's not completely maxed out, it's just a little bit, tiny little bit that hasn't been filled in yet. But yes, I used the angle grip and sacrificed a little bit of accuracy, and I felt that that was what I was comfortable with. Now, someone might make an argument about the laser pointer in that it adds critical hit chance at the cost of a little bit of stability. I didn't feel like it worked out the best for me, even though critical hit chance by theory is the best stat for the rifle because the rifle inherently adds critical hit damage. But regardless, I still felt that stability was key. What you want to do, as you see in this training room video, is that you want to hit as many headshots as possible and consistently. I don't have a percentage number of how many headshots I was hitting here, but I would dare say it was close to 90%. So for the grip, the angled grip is what I would suggest that you go for. Now, what about the muzzle? For the muzzle, I went with plus 20% accuracy. Why? Because at this point my stability bar was already full, and going for something like the compensator wouldn't help as much. What about the minus damage to elites? I didn't feel like this minus damage to elites was that significant, even though I've been suggesting to stack damage to elites, because the accuracy really paid off. As you're using the rifle, while it is your close range weapon, it is also your moderate to semi-long range weapon that you're going to be using in most encounters. And so accuracy, while not a priority, is still pretty important to maintain, and I would suggest not going below anything below the 50% mark. Now, someone might make an argument for the muzzle brake, giving you a flat damage to elites at the cost of a little bit of stability. Again, this came down to personal preference. I just felt like I performed a lot better with a full bar of stability, and I didn't want to compromise it at this point. And also, a negative 5% damage to elites is really small, considering how well accuracy will help you to maintain those headshots on moderate range targets. Now for the last one, that would be the sight. Now again, this comes down to personal preference. I chose to take the EXP S3 HOLO sight, the one that gave me plus 12% critical hit chance, because again, critical hit chance is the best stat for rifle, at least theory wise, because the rifle inherently adds critical hit damage. Now what about the minus 10% headshot damage? That might seem a little bit punishing, but again, in the practical world out there, when you have the BREADBASKET talent, it is not as bad as you think, because minus 10% headshot damage just means I need to make 2 more body shots in order to bring it back up to full. So honestly, it really didn't tank my DPS at all. Someone might say, why don't you actually go for the ×4 sight? It only takes away 5% critical hit damage but gives you an extremely long range. Sure, if you wanted to use the 4x sight, I would encourage you to use it, but at least for me, anything longer than moderate range, I was able to comfortably use my marksman rifle instead. Now what about the T2 micro red dot sight, giving you even more accuracy but taking away 10% critical hit chance? I personally didn't feel like this benefited me as much as the 12% critical hit chance, so I didn't vote to use it. Again, I did not need that much accuracy beyond the 50% mark to be able to use my rifle effectively. So yes, again, this is all down to personal preference. I am merely showing you the options that I was using to be able to achieve the numbers that I was able to achieve in the training room. Any other variation of the mods that I showed you, I wasn't actually able to maintain that 800k DPS consistently. Okay, so what about your gear talents? Well, the number one talent you want to have far and above beyond anything is the talent known as hard hitting, plus 15% damage to elites. This is the talent you should prioritize over any other talent, and is what helps me to hit such high damage numbers. You want it not only on your talents but also on your attributes if possible. As you can see here, I was lucky to be able to get a very high roll on a mask. So that is the talent that you want. You can see I can have it on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces of my gear. I unfortunately don't have it yet on my holster, but a secondary replacement would be the precise talent that gives you plus 15% headshot damage. So first the elite damage, followed by precise if you can't get headshot damage. And you can see here when I go to my stats that in total I have 136% more damage to elites. So a shot that would do 100 damage to a normal mob would in fact do twice the amount, more than twice the amount of damage to elites. Now what about your gear sets? The gear set that you want to primarily aim for is the, of course, Overlord armaments, where it gives you rifle damage and damage to elites. If you're going for a rifle build, this will be of priority to you. Now what about the other 3 slots? Well, you can do a little bit of mix and match depending on what gear you have at the current moment. You could go for a 3-set Douglas and Harding, which gives you accuracy, critical hit damage, and critical hit chance. I don't have it on my character right now because he isn't fully optimized yet, but I suspect if you get the 3-set Douglas and Harding, you would be doing even more damage than 800k consistently. Another set you could consider would be the RLD holding set. You can see here I have a 2-piece RLD holding set, which is giving me accuracy and headshot damage. I don't think there's any harm in going 3-piece Overlord and 3-piece RLD, giving you marksman rifle damage to have a spread between your marksman rifle and your rifle. But if you really want to go full all-out rifle damage, you could also go for a 2-piece RLD holdings and perhaps a 1-piece Badger set that would give you 7% more damage to elites. So yes, TLDR for the gear. For your sets, you could go for RLDs and Overlord armaments, or Douglas and Harding and 1-piece Badger. For your talents, you want the hard-hitting talent, and for your attributes, you want headshot damage and elite damage as a priority. And that's a wrap. That's all I have for this 800k DPS rifle build. I hope I was able to provide some sort of insight for you guys and your sharpshooter builds. Oh, also make sure you check out Mtashed's channel, the LMG guy you saw in the video. He has been producing some really kick-ass Division 2 vids. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in DC.